Well, let me tell you, it not only involves a special class of boat, it involves a special class of person, one of which I'm not. Special class of person, that is. We all know I'm not a special class of boat, although I have been known to be steered in the wrong direction a time or two. Anyway, the reason I'm here tonight is to tell you about the canoeing experience I had in Highlands. My friend Debbie and I decided we wanted to take a canoe trip on Lake Sequoia. Well, it was the Big Creek section of Lake Sequoia. We have a friend that offered his canoe with life jackets, etc., so we were all set. We were so excited when we arrived at the little dock. I had on my jeans and sandals, and Debbie was wearing some kind of jumpsuit kind of deal. Picture MC Hammer as a girl in pinstripes. Tucker, my darling husband, untied the canoe and drug it down to the water for us. He was holding onto the side while Debbie went first to get inside, which she did with a fair amount of grace. When she got in, she held on to the dock. Then it was my turn. Tucker had to let go of the side of the canoe to hand Debbie her oar, or paddle, or whatever you call it. The rear of the canoe had started to float out into the water, which I deemed too far to stretch my legs to enter. So I started ranting. "Bring it back over here. I can't get in." Debbie started laughing. She was laughing so hard the canoe was tilting from side to side. Water started seeping in the canoe, and I still wasn't in the boat. So I ranted louder. Debbie laughed louder, and more water went in. Finally, Tucker reached out, pulled the boat over, and in his sweet voice said, "Get in." Maybe not so sweet. So I obeyed. I wasn't laughing at this point, but my dear friend was. I gingerly got in so as not to sway the boat anymore and sat on one of the 2 aluminum seats. And Tucker handed me another oar. I'm not kidding you. The canoe was still rocking, and I started ranting again. Sit still! You're going to make us tip over!" At which point hysterical laughter erupted again from my dear sweet friend. I looked up at Tucker. He looked a little angry. Not at Debbie for rocking the boat and about to drown his poor wife, but at me for being what he said was hysterical. I really thought the end was near. I begged Tucker to get in. I'm not really sure why, but I guess I thought if we had to jump overboard, he'd save me, sort of like in the Titanic. Well, he got in, but seeing as how both seats were filled with ours, he had nowhere to sit, so he knelt down in the middle of the canoe and grabbed another oar. Then the fun began. Who in the heck ever said canoeing was fun? Poor Tucker. He's on his knees in about 3 inches of water. I'm sitting right behind him yelling, and Debbie is in the front of him still laughing. Every time I'd yell, she'd laugh more, and every time she laughed, the canoe rocked. I calmed down just a little bit to steer out to the middle of the lake. Then we started turning around. Oh my God. We were heading towards the bridge. All I could think of is we're going to go under that bridge and over the dam. So I started to freak out. And they thought I'd already freaked out. Well, they had another thing coming. I demanded they pull over, as in, pull over, let me out, I'm serious, pull over. And the laughter that I thought could not get louder did. I could see several dots sticking out in the water and was ready to climb onto any one of them. Then I looked down in the abysmal water. I could see the bottom of the lake. We were only in about what had to be 1.5 feet of water. After what seemed like an eternity, we finally made it back to our little dock. I think Tucker had a ringing in his ears by now because he couldn't even hear my thought waves. He got out, jeans wringing wet, and knelt down to hold the canoe with his left hand and extended his right hand to help us out. Of course, his right hand went to the front of the boat. Debbie grabbed hold of his hand and got out, at which I started my ire all over again. I knew you'd help her out first. Not my brightest moment, I'm sure. He was just being nice. In the back of my mind, though, I wondered if he thought about, even if only for a second, giving that canoe a good shove with his foot. Debbie's still my best friend, more like a sister, if you want to know the truth. I got a text from her the other day, and she had written, "What? Turn on the TV. We're on the Olympics. It's the canoeing." Every time we see a canoe, we bust out laughing, both of us. No, canoeing's not for sissies, and I guess that means I am a special class of person, a sissy. I'm not meant to be in any situation where my stomach is going in a different direction from my feet. Reminds me of the time Tucker and I, oh wait, that's another story.